In the darkest abyss, I found loss. We never belonged here. My entire team is deceased. They suffered delusions, psychotic episodes, and seizures, becoming more violent until one by one each committed suicide or fell victim to murder. They're all gone. We couldn't find the source of such a mental unraveling, but I'm willing to bet it has everything to do with the cold sense of isolation. The captain was first to go. Captain Enfield took his life by ingesting something toxic. He also tried to feed it to all of us during his last meal, and contaminated much of our food supply. Our lead security officer was next. Calvin Madkey blew his brains out with a firearm in the armory bay. We had to close off and separate that entire section of the ship due to the bullets breaching the hull. It was a similar fate for all remaining members. I myself feel affected, but not like the others. Before they all died, I would find them staring into the glass, into the darkness. It was like they could see something out there. They all wore the same sad expression. It was something I could only associate with defeat. My name is Maverick Cedar. I'm the scientist for this vessel. With limited resources and expertise, I am unable to navigate through this void. The best chance I have is to find a source of fuel somewhere in this nothingness while I keep sending messages back to MC. I'm not sure if they are getting my messages though. Comms have been silent since my team started to break down. I see something on the screen. I don't know how this is possible. How could this massive structure hide from me for so long? It's real. It must be a large moon, or maybe a planet. This may be my only way to acquire what I need to make more fuel, or at least buy time until I get a response from MC. I have no time to do a proper diagnostic check on it. I plot the coordinates and prepare for descent. I'm kinda rusty on my ability to land a ship, but hopefully my training is sharp enough to cut through the atmosphere and not send me down a smoldering mess of magma. As the ship falls and builds friction, I feel everything around me begin to rattle and shake. It's taking everything to keep my eyes on the controls. I start the landing protocol. I pull the handle to begin extending the landing gear. We are falling too fast. Drop thrusters are jammed. Shit. Impact is imminent. I need to slow the ship down. I use an emergency protocol override to attempt manual landing. I try to align the ship to the ground and it slaps through with tremendous force, destroying the legs of the landing gear, but leaving the rest of the ship barely intact. It's at this very distance I can finally look at my surroundings. A horrifying yet mesmerizing landscape. Such a dark and windy planet with blackened plant life that look more like tall, rotten seaweed than trees. Large rock formations jut out the white sands and give me impressions of ancient monoliths. No signs of animal life. For now. Still, shaking with adrenaline, I unbuckle my safety harness. A loud rumble reverberates the ship. I grab a high-powered flashlight and leave through the exit hatch. Waving the beam around this foreign landscape, I find the source of the roaring sound I've been hearing. It appears to be some kind of thermal vent. It shakes as it released heated gases into the air. A fair sign that the environment is incredibly toxic. Some distant rocks move, and I'm almost certain I see something scurrying into the darkness. I need to head back to the ship. I noticed something. A few meters from me. The ground. It's moving. Pulsating. Fine, dusty white dirt quivers before collapsing and something begins to emerge. Impossibly long legs reach and climb from the hole, heaving a monstrous porous sphere that spit out spiny antenna-like appendages. They reach in my direction. I stay still. I feel completely paralyzed by what stands before me. The antenna continues to reach and swing towards me, curiously only inches away from me. I slowly walk backwards, and it doesn't seem to notice me. I'm not certain, but it still seems fixated on the same spot. A sound in the distance causes the creature to suck in its appendages before releasing a painful sounding squeal, before submerging its body underground. I'm pretty sure I just shit my suit. I nervously torque the ship, frantically rushing to get inside. This place is fucking terrible. I'd rather die in space than be trapped here. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to get the landing gear in a manageable condition before I can possibly leave. Fuck the fuel, fuck waiting on MC. I'll remove my suit to clean up and eat halfway through my ration before I give in to exhaustion. I'm woken by the feeling of being stared at, and I wish I was wrong. A strange bioluminescent worm was staring at me. It's almost a meter long, and lifts a glowing orb for a head. What's also puzzling is how it got in here. The latch appears secure, and I'm still alive, so all openings must be sealed. I couldn't have carried him on board with me. Could I? I slowly stand, not to antagonize him. I slowly slid on my suit, terrified of potential onboard contamination. It looks at me with a query. Like it can't quite figure out what I am, or perhaps why I'm here. I wave, and it slowly but calmly inches closer. It starts to blink with a progressively brighter light before the whole room is taken by the beaming worm. When the overwhelming light starts to dim, and my eyes finally adjust, I find that the creature is gone. And to make matters incredibly fucked up, I'm no longer in my ship. I don't know where I am. What is happening on this godforsaken rock? I look, and all I see is white sand, never-ending dark expanse in all directions. It's so quiet, eerily quiet. I can't even hear the thermal vents anymore. The silence is broken by the alert from my oxygen gauge. It has roughly 45 minutes of air left. I can't run. Even if I knew which direction to go, that is not enough time, and running will just kill my tank faster. I need to think. I only have a moment to collect my thoughts before a rumble shakes me off my feet. I try to catch my footing, and I just find my way to the ground again from the constant waves of force shifting under me. Something is coming from the ground, and it's massive. I try to aim my light at it, but it's too big to fully capture in the dark with this light alone. From what I can see, it has several blinking black eyes, numerous maws filled with serrated fangs that scream with blood-curdling intensity, large gaping holes that are spewing slimy mounds of crab-like creatures, and I use the term crab loosely. Each one had to be at least 5 feet in length, and they wielded 3 pairs of claws and stood on 6 pairs of legs. pale armored nodes wave and dangle wildly from the unending crab mother. This monstrosity is a being of never-ending torture and creation. Some of the crab-like creatures take notice of me and scuttle to my location. I turn and run in the other direction and I see it. That fucking worm from earlier. I got to get to that glowing bastard before these things disembowel me. I can hear them catching up to me. They are picking up speed. My head fills with the sound of horrendous clapping, like the pummeling of slate stone. I can feel the vibration of the pincer snapping behind my head. I'm getting closer to the worm and it starts to blink and flash its bright lights. I can feel myself trip as I am blinded by the light, but I don't feel anything beneath me. The force of the fall is starting to lift my stomach into my throat. My eyes adjust, and I am met with the brutal smack of some pool of foreign liquid. It's glowing yellow, and I see something rising from below with a large body of bubbles. What the hell is that? As it starts to surface, I'm hit with a tremendous headache. My vision starts to blur. I panic as everything goes black, but my vision is coming back quickly. I shake my head in confusion. I'm at my old hangar bay. The same one I left all those years ago. What's happening? And there's my ship, and my team are exiting from the hatch. I wave them down, and they all stop and look at me. They are staring with a dead expression. An expression I have never seen, not on one of their faces. They begin to sprint towards me, and I am trying to run away, but like a nightmare, I am just not fast enough. They catch up to me. They grab me and remove my helmet. The air is so thick, I can barely breathe at all. The illusion starts to fade, and I can see these monsters for what they are. Three-legged creatures with gaping tubular heads. They puke on me. It feels like a strong adhesive, and it is pinning me to the wall. This is like a nightmare configuration of spiders and coral. I try to scream as one of the creatures send a large viscous ball of pale, skinny worms and mucus hurling at my face. The slime ball completely encapsulates my head like an ant taken by a raindrop. The worms within it work away inside my head through my lips, nose, ears, and eyes. The pain is so overwhelming that I can no longer hold on. I am blacking out. As I come back to consciousness, I cough up an unnerving amount of liquid before a deep crunch is heard from within my body. The glowing worm from earlier is peeking at me from a small hole in the ceiling. Something horrible starts cracking through the bones of my torso. I wonder to myself, staring back at the curious thing, what did it want from me? Was it trying to meet some desired goal, or was I just dealing with some snotty kid simply enjoying feeding moths to spiders? The question is ripped from my mind, and I am consumed with agony. My body begins to tremble and shake with an uncontrollable internal force. The last thing I remember seeing are hard-shelled legs as they erupt out from my shoulder and chest, then pushing me down as they break free from their unwilling womb.